Thank you. What are AAA games even anymore? Good question. You know what?
Second row.
Yeah, we're gonna start with this one. Gotta do this. What are even AAA games anymore? AAA games anymore? This has been this from Bricky. This is one of the another reaction from Bricky I'm gonna be watching. Actually, Bricky, me and Bricky has an interesting history together because Bricky brought me the biggest video I have on the channel currently. Let me actually show you real quickly. Bricky brought the biggest YouTube video I have currently. Also, I'm like eight subscribers away from 400. God damn it! But look at this. Look at this. 13,000 subscribers. 13,000 views. 11 months ago. This was around September, around August to September when I did a reaction on this. But yeah, 13,000 views. Because apparently, 40k fandom is very passionate. It is very passionate. Yeah, I am a fan of 40k.
Not the Warhammer 40k rabbit hole.
It is. But yeah, look at this, 13,000 views. Anyway, thank you, Bricky. Bricky. Follow Bricky, please. Bricky is a good lad. He makes good stuff. So we're gonna watch his what even are AAA games anymore? What are they? Brickster, the Brickiness. Tell us.
Before we get started on this video, this episode of Bricky Brings You Content is brought to you by my sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering a box of various items from top shelf and under the radar brands. It's completely free to join, and every month they introduce their members to cool different products, things like outdoor gear, barware, kitchen goods, clothing, and even more. All of this entirely based on a preference quiz that you fill out when signing up. The lineup changes every month, but
hands, pray for Mr. John Warhammer Bricky.
Each box of awesome has around $70 in value, but you only pay a fraction of the price. In fact, 90% of the products
Mr. John
in
Warhammer
Bespoke Post come from small brands, many of which are right here in the US. And what should be made clear is that while you can sign up and take the quiz, you don't owe any money until you decide to pick a box. You only pay for what you want. And before it gets shipped to you, you can even decide if you want to keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip the month entirely for absolutely no charge. Throughout this ad, you've seen me unboxing 3 of the boxes I chose. The 3 I specifically went with were the Concentrate, Explore, and Wabi Sabi boxes. Concentrate because I have a crippling caffeine addiction and anything new coffee sounds lovely to me. Explore because despite the fact that I am in busy suburban SoCal, we do have plenty of different fun trails and hiking areas you can go through. And Wabi,
my entire outside is a hiking area. Effectively, I live in the forest. Like I look around, I look out, I look into the, I look to the left forest, I look to the right forest. It's just forest.
Sabi because sushi
outside
is
of my library
favorite
is only
food
forest
of all time. That is one of the more Californian things I can say, but hey, I know who I am. I will certainly be using the things I got from these 3 boxes. And if you
it's like deep forest, it's not like a pleasant park forest. I got lost and abducted by a Bigfoot forest.
You would like to get your first ever box of awesome, and not only that, but get it for 20% off. Click the link in the description and enter code Bricky20 at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/Bricky20. Thanks again to Bespoke Post for sponsoring this video. Head on over to the link in the description to get 20% off your first box with code Bricky20. Hello, everybody. My name is Bricky. Currently,
you lied to me. I thought your name was John Warhammer.
Well, feeling a little whelmed. Not overwhelmed.
Bro living with Wool Elf now. He is lost to us.
I'm not a wool elf. I'm a wood elf. But yeah, effectively. Effectively. I literally like look outside and there's like I'm not kidding. There was a moment in my life when I looked outside and there was a bear ruffling in a trash can. And then we crossed our he looked at me and I looked at him, and we both decided that we have not seen this, and we decided to go our separate ways. I went to grab coffee, and then he dragged the trash can away.
Underwhelmed.
Yes, Russia.
Yes.
Just whelmed. I stand here in front of the green screen I painted on my closet wall, thinking to myself, this is certainly one of the days of all time.
That's me every day. Every day I sit up, look at my big ass space thing on the wall, and go, this is certainly a day.
$70. $70. It's a lot of money. It's also like not a lot of money. I recall a conversation
It's like a lot of money to spend on one thing, but not
Truly
a lot of
one
money.
with a tree. As a Vietnamese, I welcome a brother.
Yes, one with the tree. I'm one with the tree. We actually have a lot of naturally produced stuff here. Like, it's one of the things you can absolutely expect is that, like, there's a lot of naturally produced food here, like meats, milk, dairy products, all of the greens, all of the veggies, all of the fruits. We have I basically buy all of that from our neighbors, technically, because like every person here has like has their own like a garden and things. There's a farm a few kilometers away from here. It's like it's a whole system here. Like, we have technically a market, but that market buys from everyone else here and then sells to other people. It's like it's kind of like a. It's kind of like one of those old-timey markets, where people come in, set up their own stalls, and do their own and sell their own things. That's basically the core of things. But yeah, I am completely detracted from the topic of the video. But $70 is an interesting thing, because it feels big to spend on a game. It feels bad to spend on a game, but it doesn't feel bad to spend on anything else. If that makes sense.
I had with a friend.
Like, spending $70 per month on the internet doesn't feel as bad, because you get return from it all the time, right? You know exactly what you want from it. Or like, I spent $50 on the internet. On like 400 on 400, I spent $50, right? 400 download and 400 upload.
Bro is living in the economy management sim game.
Yeah. But I play $50 for 400 download, 400 upload. That's my basis of living. That's my basis of living on the internet, and that's what I need to do to like have these internet things. But I still don't want to spend a big amount of money on games, especially like that, because I don't know, it just feels weird. I'm an old person though, so.
And
people who only were gaming in an era where $60 games were a thing and $70 game were a thing, they'd consider 60 and 70 to be norm, and then only after that...
Yeah, Destiny 2 DLC nowadays $100. Unbelievable.
Yes, that's stupid. Like, that's really stupid. I tried Destiny 2. It's a convoluted mess of microtransactions and absolutely... a weird design in terms of selling shit. It's at least if you have something like that, if you have a system full of microtransactions and buying, at least have a bundle with all of the shit you can buy, so you can enjoy all of the content. At least do it like Final Fantasy XIV, where you can buy the game and like every expansion up to the current expansion. At least you can do that, right? But no, you can't do that apparently, because fuck knows why.
On the discussion of the $100 bill and how it is simultaneously a lot of money and almost no money. $100 is a decent amount of groceries, a nice dinner date for you and someone special, refilling a lot of cleaning supplies around the house, or even a lot of essential bits of clothing, like simple name brand underwear, socks, t-shirts. You can get a lot for $100, but it's also not even a month's worth of electricity, fraction of rent, and just barely covering a full tank of gas in
depends on the country, but yes,
2023. And over the
again, depends on the country, but yeah,
past 5 years, even the $100 that meant a lot feels like it's meaning less and less with rising inflation, poor wages, and a housing market that is at best infuriating and at worst unfixable.
The housing market here is not as bad, effectively. It's manageable, effectively, because like well, okay, so this place I have right now, I own this place. I actually own this place. I do not pay this rent. I own this place. Well, not me, but like my family technically. But yeah, we own this place, right? That's us. That's completely ours. Like this, no person comes here and asks if when will I pay rent. But I am the one who owns this place, and this place was an American problem. I would say it's a problem for a bunch of countries with the very various levels of fucked markets, fucked prices. But even here, you have like not super pleasant prices because people want money and people want to sell things at like in ridiculous rates. Effectively, actually, let me do something real quick. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me zoom in a little bit. I feel like you can see my beautiful eyes that way. Okay.
Along with the price of basically everything else, video games are also increasing in cost, going from the $60 they have been for over a decade to $70 for the, quote, AAA game.
I feel like AAA quality this time around, this day and age, feels more like Avoid quality. Like Avoid at the start, buy after 1 year, maybe half a year if you are lucky. That is like the AAA stamp of quality. Do not buy, do not pre-order. That is like basically what I think, what I see when I see AAA games. Most of them, at least. Nintendo is, but most of them.
This recent price jump has been made extremely known to us as its reveal was superset between the release of a game that couldn't be played and a game that nobody wanted to play, which now leads us to a discussion.
And several games that do come out of the it's quote unquote AAA business market. I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
What should a $70 game really be? Or better yet, what is a AAA game that is worth such a price point? Because throughout my entire life, games have been priced at either $50 or $60.
Yeah. 40 occasionally 40.
As young as I can remember playing video games, they were like $50. Yeah. But a quick Google search says that roughly around 2006, they started retailing for $60. This would have made me 11 years old. Or in Call of Duty release timeframe scale, a year before COD 4.
That's not a quality standard.
Yeah, AAA games nowadays is like a gatekeep the quality standard. That's exactly it. Even if the game is good, right? Even if the game is good, like say Jedi Survivor, even if the game behind every trouble is good, right? They fixed everything. It's just whatever. I still consider AAA quality. I'm not going to play this until a year passes situation. Like I'm not going to play or if and good games. Good AAA games are often barred to consoles, which I also do not have currently. So that's another reason why I'm going to be playing it in a year. Like Final Fantasy 16, that's going to have a PC port at some point, right? It's going to have a PC port at some point because they haven't gotten nearly as much money that they expected to get. Because surprise, surprise, not everyone is going to chill out on fucking PlayStation 5. Not everyone has the money for it. So whatever. So they will absolutely port this to PC, and then I will play it, but not a minute earlier. I will not go out of my way to buy PC 5 just to sit down and play Final Fantasy 16. That's not happening. That's not happening. Even then, though, when the PC port happens, I will have to wait a little bit. If the game works well, if there's no ridiculous specifications, if I can stream this, yada 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 yada.
How I remember video game years is COD release dates. It's all off the top of my head right now. Ghosts 2013, Modern Warfare 2 2009, Black Ops 2 2012. It's all there.
I never grew up with COD, so I cannot relate.
So that means we haven't had a general price increase for about 17 years.
70
it's not
years.
to say there haven't been ways to get more money out of games, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Deluxe editions, promising in-game items going for up to $100 or more, DLCs, or...
I am absolutely not against DLCs myself. Like, I'm absolutely not against DLCs. DLCs ultimately is a additional content that you are willing to support developers for, and like get your money in for some additional little goodies, right? That is separate. That is like that is a package that adds to an experience that is hopefully good and complete, right? In theory, or supposed to. God help me. It's supposed to do that. I'm laughing even saying that, because I don't think that's what people think DLCs are these days.
As they used to say, or call it my day, expansion.
And other microtransactions insulated a lot of the $60 purchases, which, hot take, I'm actually surprised the $70 price tag didn't come sooner.
I am too.
If we look at it from a pure inflation standpoint, $60 in 2006 is almost $90 today. Plus, it's not like the cost of making games has stayed the same. Games are made by people like you and me. And to say that their wages haven't also needed to go up to facilitate a more expensive economy.
Yeah, Bricky. But they haven't gone up, though. They haven't gone up, though. The reason why the game's prices came out is because Mr. Bobby, or whoever else, replace Bobby with whoever you want, needs to buy another yacht, and then he fires 600 workers. That's why the prices increased. Not the utopia reason of the people needing bigger wages. That's not how the world works.
Would be generally incorrect. Ironically, when you look at it in relative terms, video games have actually gone down in price over the years, staying the same cost for a while costing more to make, while not adjusting for inflation, which would make sense why there have been such an absolute abundance in microtransactions.
No, it doesn't make sense.
And upsells to make up the difference.
No. I don't give a shit. I genuinely don't give a shit. That's not... No. Nothing justifies over monetizing a game. Nothing. You will not.
Me and my boys hate Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, you will not justify anything. Like, genuinely, to me. I think this is bullshit that is peddled by the PR department, who wants, because the games are, you choose the price of the game you develop. Nobody asks you to develop $100 million games. Nobody. People are content to play a game that costs $50,000. Nobody will look at you and say, "Oh, you didn't spend $100 million on this. Why could you?" If you bring a good game, nobody's gonna fucking complain. Everyone who says, "Oh, graphics," they were never a gamer to begin with. They were a movie. That's not irrelevant, like, at all, to actual gaming process. The game is playing the game. You don't. If you want to watch a movie, you go watch a movie. Those are two fucking different statistics, different scenarios. God,
so our new price point of $70 has been created, and let's be real, none of us can stop it now. The precedent has been set, and every major publisher is just happy that someone else did it first.
Yeah.
So they don't appear to be the boogeyman. I will go out and say I don't mind that the new price of AAA games is $70.
I don't mind the prices being $70. Don't mind. What I mind is the abundance of the fucking microtransactions that still come with it. If you have price of $70, right, and you buy a game by $70, you do not include microtransactions worth $30, $40, $50 into the game. You do not. 15, maybe. 10, maybe. 5, I will absolutely buy something $5. Cool. Not 50, not 30, not 60, not 70. I will not. Like, literally, even if I become a millionaire ever, which is not going to happen, I'm not going to spend a dime on the microtransactions.
I was astonished it remained $60 for as long as it did. But I will say two things.
Okay.
One, I should not be your base metric. Thanks to the success of this channel, the sponsors I have, streams I do, and lovely community like yourself that shows up and watches these videos and buys merchandise at orchidate.com. I am doing very, very well.
Exceptionally well, I'd say. He's one of those people who I believe is absolutely content with life. Currently. Absolutely content. He does content, I think, that is absolutely vibing to me. A guy who likes his life. It's very upbeat, very positive. I am not a person who likes my life. I am very negative sometimes, right? I'm a broke ass bitch. I'm a broke ass bitch. Most often than not, I am depressed. So I'm like, I'm not exactly the most positive person in the universe. That might change. That might change in the end, but still, for now, I am the way I am. But I can see a person who's like very positive about life and very confident in himself, and that's the Brickster here.
For myself, I am not the average person. I am not the working class. So my $70 is very different than your $70.
I do not have a $70 to spend on a game. I just do not. Like, that's pause. I don't have it.
And it does me good to constantly remind myself of that. And two, the game has to be worth $70 fucking.
Yes. Yeah. It has to be worth it.
Well, yeah, my man owned 3 or 4. Don't remember. Army and Warhammer 40k.
To be fair, though, I do own an army in 40k. I do own one army in 40k. Myself. It's orcs. I'm playing orcs. I'm an orcs player. Yes, I'm a whack ass that is an orc player. What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you want from me? Anyway.
Redfall is not worth $70.
No.
Jedi Survivor on PC should not be $70.
No.
I should not have to pay $70 for a broken game with the hope it'll be fixed later. You don't pay for a car and have the dealers say, yeah, all the tires are popped and it has no windshield, but it'll be fixed at some point.
Yeah, that's the paradox of gaming industry, right? Because every other industry out there, every other place where you receive anything from anyone, be it a car or an ice cream cone or like a meal, right? You want your quality now, right this fucking second. If you buy a car, you want it to be in whole place. You don't buy a car and come in and there is a single tire rolling around on the ground. And the rest of the car, and there's like a little sign on the tire that says the rest of the car will arrive within the next year. No, you don't. You will not buy that car. You will say, "Fuck you! I'm gonna sue you for false advertisement," and you sue them, and you win the suit, and you win the lawsuit because it is false advertisement. to say that you release a game and then not release a game in a state that is actually playable. But no. People in the gaming industry, they like to huff copium. That is like the favorite thing, the copium. So when Redfall comes out and it's a broken mess and it doesn't really do anything, though occasionally Redfall is a rare case when people said no, we don't want that at all. Please go take this away. So it tanked anyway. But like, so when the Jedi Survivor came out, because the game is decent, right? I see so many people being like, but they fixed it. They fixed it apparently. No, they fixed it. So now, copium. That means it was worth it. It was worth the money that you spent. No, dumbass, it wasn't. It wasn't worth it. Because you had to wait all that time from when you bought the game to play the game like a normal person. So it wasn't ultimately worth it.
When? In the future. When in the future?
When?
When will then be now? Soon. How soon?
If I can make a blanket statement today, it's this. I don't give a shit if your game is $10, $40, $70. It's a fucking product. I don't sell people half a goddamn shirt. I don't care about your deadlines. Don't sell me something broken. Lick your wounds, post your cyberpunk delay image, and fix your shit before it comes out. Swallow your pride and speak to whoever ran the PC port for God of War 2018 because that game can run on my fucking Tamagotchi. Of course, I speak to the publishers more than anything. I do not fault the individual devs. I fault the unrealistic deadlines and management of those above them. Your game needs to work.
Yes. And again, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit to do this disclaimer of like, oh, developers. Everyone knows this. Developers, obviously. Nobody will blame the fucking single worker bee for like whatever problem they have. Like that's not. Everyone who says that has a problem. Like everyone who says that about like David, how dare you sell me a game like that, David? Even though you don't do any decision in this line of work, David, I'm still gonna blame you, David. Like that's not a thing, right? That's not a thing. Nobody does that. Please tell me nobody does that. I hope nobody does that. And anyway, it's like. When we say game broken, developer studio sucks, we talk about the upper management who solicited all of that. Because a studio is a well-oiled machine. If it's not a well-oiled machine, it sucks. There could be any amount of talent, there could be any amount of people working on it that are massive, amazing, but fucking fantastic at what they do. Could be anything. Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 was made by people, one of the biggest, by a group of people who were like the best developers in Square Enix. It was made by those people. But the problem was the development of the entire game did not align together to create a well-oiled machine so that the product can be created, finalized, and well made. And working. So the final result of the initial version of Final Fantasy XIV was trash. Even though many people who worked on the original version were one of the best developers in the industry, right? By saying the game is trash, we do not say the developers are trash, we say the game is trash. If people, it's just like, the fact that I have to say those disclaimers is indicating to me how fucking narrow-minded people are these days. Really?
Yeah? Whew. Management. Yes, management. Next part of the script.
They are such babies. I am going to leave them in there.
Management that seems to be present in the AAA industry more than most others. Those that are at fault, I refer. Because this whole thing begs another main question. What even is AAA game?
It's an overhyped bullshit. It's an overhyped piece of garbage. Most likely. That is overpriced. In 2023, AAA game means usually either console locked and somewhat good, right? Or overhyped trash.
Why'd I say that way? What even is AAA game? What is AAA? What even is a AAA game anymore? Not only what it is, but once it's defined, is it even a sustainable concept? Like, the line between AAA game and the rest of the world's products is getting constantly blurred. For many, AAA is a standard of quality.
No, it's not.
Example of this would have been Blizzard a few years back.
Yeah.
Blizzard games were notoriously high quality. Often their ideas weren't the first, but they were something that was really nailed down. It kind of made me have this feeling of like the Apple of video games, where nothing Apple does is particularly brand spanking new and crazy new technology, but they tend to make the things they do make really polished. Overwatch
somewhat, yeah. But there has been like a thing in Blizzard, I'd say, that it's like that existed for a long time, with their quality status effects being not, how do I say it, not the best. I mean, it's even started long before that. It started since in a lot of World of Warcraft situations. It started during a lot of the how to say it. It started with a lot of hey, Ultrazaz. But yeah, it started with a lot of things that just started happening. Hello, Ultrazaz. And it's just, I don't know. There has been a lot of issues with World of Warcraft. There has been a lot of issues with Hearthstone. Blizzard has not been the epitome of quality for a long time at this point.
1 was a great example of this. When it came to
yeah, Overwatch 1 was one of the most standout releases ever. Because the game functioned, that's 1. The game was fun, that's 2. The game was complete, that's 3. And you just, sure, there were loot boxes. People could spend things on loot boxes. But you could officially earn them with each level, those same loot boxes. Like, you could very efficiently farm those loot boxes if you really wanted to. So it's not as predatory as people like it to believe it to be.
Individual aspects of Overwatch, everything felt rather pristine. The UI was smooth and transitioned well. The character designs looked unique, and the animation.
The art style was good. The art style is what sold Overwatch the way it is. It wasn't really demanding in terms of like quality. It wasn't really demanding in terms of internet. It wasn't really demanding in terms of skill. Not really. You could be skilled, right? But it was largely a team-based effort in a lot of ways. But yeah,
were crafted in a way that felt as if industry veterans were making them. Graphics too play a part in this, not photorealistic per se, but its own special feeling and art style. The game was also relatively bug-free. I don't remember encountering any bug.
I have not. I remember playing the game in 2016, way back when. I remember playing it on release. It was not buggy. It was not buggy at all. It was very. It played very well. It played very well. I can say for sure.
Bugs in the launch.
There might have been like minor things, obviously, balance issues, whatever. But those are things you expect totally from a multiplayer game, because a multiplayer game is a live thing. It's alive. It has to be balanced. It has to be adjusted. Yada 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 yada.
Of Overwatch, and my only real issue was the server capacity. But even then, like, I kind of get it. I still got a ton of games in regardless. We have quality. Right. Another thing to be associated with AAA is the size of the games. What are you offering? How much content is there? If we take a trip back and we think about Halo Reach, like, that game was jam-packed for what it had. A fully fledged 7 to 8 hour campaign that can be played normal or co-op, Firefight, a co-op horde game mode, a fully fledged multiplayer with a ton of customization, maps and game modes, Forge, a massive map customizer that could be a game in itself, and custom games. The hilarious game modes that were played from the maps you made in Forge. This was a massive game. The sheer volume of content to be played is staggering. Truly staggering. So we have A, quality, B, size, and finally C, the name. And we can't pretend as if the name isn't a huge part of what makes a game AAA. Like, your studio could be 40 people or 400 people, but if I slap Activision Blizzard on it, Electronic Arts, or Naughty Dog, it's going to be taken as if it's a AAA title. And this extends to people working on it. If you have Troy Baker voicing your lead, that means something. If Laura Bailey or Jennifer Hale are contracted, it assumes you have money to spend. Money smaller companies simply don't have. The industry is all names at the end of the day anyway, right? So
yeah, I suppose so. That's fair. The industry is all names. I guess that makes sense, honestly. When you really consider it, when you have a Matt Mercer on your title, it's gotta be a AAA game. If you have different various names about both actors and directors, everything, it's often even like a point of PR when you have like a big name or a big person. It's really a point of PR Like it
Hi.
really is. Didn't you already say hello, Bummy? Oh, hey. And it's just like it's such a interesting topic to think about, but a lot of things. I personally believe a lot of the names you could have bought, you could have spent that budget on, I don't know, polishing the game, maybe making that game more interesting, maybe making that endless expanse of nothing more condensed amount of everything. Maybe that's where the budget should have went, instead of buying Laura Bailey for 2 lines of dialogue of a person who gets yeeted out of the window. Maybe that'd be best.
Those are your 3 ABCs of AAA: quality, size, and names. The building blocks of a major AAA release video game. Or are they? Day by day, 1, 2, or even all 3 of these factors are being abandoned. It's not uncommon for a game to be missing some or all of the building blocks, yet still masquerade itself as AAA video game. Let's look at Cyberpunk when it came out, right? Size? Absolutely there. Present in all its glory. Name? 100%. CD Projekt Red. Well respected. Quality? An absolute failure. A cautionary tale on the very concept of pre-ordering a title. It lives in infamy, despite the fact that it's okay now. But I didn't buy Cyberpunk for it to be okay now. Apex
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember being very excited for Cyberpunk 2017, 77. I remember being very excited about it because I do love Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk. I love the tabletop system. I love the vibe of it all. I like the Cyberpunk in general because I'm an edgy boy, and it's just like the way it was executed, right? The story was good. Keanu was good in his role. Everything was good, but like I do not have it in me to condone its existence as a game that is still being fixed 3 years later. I don't. That officially punted my expectations for any CD Projekt game, CD Projekt game into the gutters. I do not watch the new look at the new Witcher and say,
Hello, Theo in chat.
Oh, hey, Yuna. I do not look at the new Witcher and say, oh, it will be great. I look at the Witcher and say, I hope it will be okay. Thanks to Cyberpunk 2077. I think for me, Cyberpunk became like the last straw in terms of like pre-ordering games. If before that I considered pre-ordering games, right? I occasionally still didn't, but I considered it because there was like some really neat things. And I even pre-ordered Elden Ring. One game I fucking pre-ordered was Elden Ring. Somehow that worked out. Somehow that worked out. For once, but yeah, I did. That's the only game. But I will not consider mostly pre-ordering games now. Never.
Legends. Names? EA and Respawn. I mean, that pulls weight. Quality? Bit iffy on that one. Game constantly breaks. Servers have issues often, and I've encountered my fair share of bugs and cheaters. Size?
What we chatting about?
We're chatting about AAA games, Yuna. We're chatting what makes a AAA game a AAA game. We are watching Bricky's video on the topic, and we are basically going off on a tangent about the topic as usual. Previous reaction stream, you can check the videos, by the way, on my channel, Yuna. What happened when I reacted to a long-ass video from Actman, 40-minute video reaction turned into 40-minute video turned into 2.5 hours. Because I was rambling so much about the gaming industry. And I continue to be rambling so much about the gaming industry. Actually, let me see. When did I start reacting to...
A game that works would be a start for AAA games.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Yeah, I watched 11 minutes in 30 minutes. It's been 35 minutes since I started watching this video. I only watched 12 minutes of the video. So, solid hour. Expect
We
a
are
solid...
shitting on Bobby Kotick.
Oh, we're also doing that, yeah. We're also doing that, obviously. We're also doing that, yeah, of course.
Don't think so. There are a few maps, sure, but for the...
Also, Apex Legends is massive in different ways, I think. It's massive in its sheer pool of competitiveness. It's probably one of the most technical shooters you could have won there.
most part, it's one big game mode and a couple side modes. It lacks a campaign and any co-op.
Starfield does have a good bit of problems.
Starfield is a Bethesda game. They still haven't changed their engine, which released in 2011. They're still using the same engine they used in 2011. This is Skyrim. This is Skyrim, but in space. On pure technicality, this is just Skyrim in space. Like, this is... What can I say? It's just Skyrim in space.
I am aware XD.
Yeah, what are your favorite games? What are my favorite games? Depends. When it comes to RPGs, I'd say my favorite games would be the Mass Effect trilogy as RPGs. When it comes to shooters, I'd say
Mine is Minecraft.
interesting. When it comes to shooters, I'd say mine would be the what's it called? I think the which one I played that is like the most. I guess Overwatch. The first Overwatch was my favorite shooter. And various other games. I like various games. I don't have like the favorite game ever. Ratchet and Clank series I also adore as well. When it comes to puzzlers, Banjo-Kazooie, I also love those
I
games.
love the Ratchet and Clank series.
Banjo-Kazooie also. Pokemon Unite has been a favorite of mine recently as well. I have been playing League for
Pokemon
12
Unite.
years. I've been playing League for 12 years. So I guess you could say that's a favorite of mine. I haven't gotten better at League, but I did play it for 12 years. God damn it. Anyway, and yeah, Minecraft, I kind of want to try Minecraft, actually. Whenever I have the chance to buy Minecraft and try Minecraft, I want to try Minecraft. I want to have a server.
I love League too.
I want to make a server. I want to vibe with my, I want our company, whenever we have the company established, I want us to have our own little server. Yeah, she has a 10-second delay.
Mooney still seems to be a little slow with chatting.
Yeah, she has a 10-second delay. She needs to like think about before producing it.
I don't agree. Apex just only has like 3 or 4 map and they just rework something new. It doesn't has some lore in it. Well, yeah, it has, but it's so little it not noticeable.
True, but I mean, I think Apex is not played for size to begin with. It's kind of like a butchered remains of Titanfall series in a way. All the mechanics are there from Titanfall, all the things are there from Titanfall, but like with combined with the BR stuff and like the hyper competitive style of gameplay. It's very addicting though. I can say for sure. It's very addicting. When it comes to size, I think like Overwatch could have turned into size, but they decided not to because it was too time consuming and too resource consuming, and they just fucked up and decided to be like, oh, we're gonna promise size and then not deliver size, and apparently that's good somehow, but whatever.
Mode that its predecessor, Titanfall 2, had both of. Now, Apex is not a $60 game, but they shove microtransactions into you so often. The amount of
At least League has lores.
League is massive. We can say for sure at this point League is massive because League currently contains several games.
Lore with the S in the end.
Yeah, the several games within one game, effectively, because League of I think what's called the Runeterra card game is technically also a League game. The main League of Legends game is a thing. The TFT is a thing. The new game mode of that they actually copied from Battleborn or something like that. Battle something like that. There was a game I played a while back that they basically copied for their new BR 2 versus 2 situation. They did copy it, so it's fair. Probably because they have some of the developers from that game went into Riot, but never mind. League is so massive in terms of like scope of it all right now. They have several RPGs within them. there's several RPGs within
Just
them.
came back from my midnight snacks. Looks like we're having quite a nice discussion here.
Yeah, we have. Also, another thing to say, there's so much lore and history
Not
in
a
there.
fan of the PvP of League, but I do have to say that Riot has done a really good job overall.
Yeah, they even produced one of the most impossible things ever. They actually made a TV show about the licensed product. Good. Arcane was good. I liked Arcane. It was really good. I think it was really worth the
And what
worth
about
the time.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty is a franchise. I think every separate game is good on its own right. Though I can't say I ever played any of them specifically too much. I played Modern Warfare 1. That's the only COD game I ever touched ever. Yes, I'm a false gamer. I never played COD games. But yeah, ultimately, I think. I mean, have you heard? They have so much lore. They're making an MMO out of a Riot World, out of the League world. They're making an MMO. They're making an MMO out of League
I kind
universe.
of just want COD to die. A game a year is way too often.
Maybe, but I think they switched their tactics to less games per year. But still, I kind of don't like COD as a franchise because it's so played out at this point. There's so many games in the series. I don't really see a point. I don't really see where they can go creatively to make it work because it has been releasing since 2000s. The series was already 23 years old at this point, if not more. So what else they could do? Like, what else? Like, I don't know. So, whatever. Recent games have also dipped in quality considerably. I can say that for sure. But yeah,
Horrendously expensive events that
the microtransactions.
I'm waiting for the Riot MMO. I think it will be super fun.
I also think it will be super fun. It's also, I checked it out, by the way, it also has been made by a lot of the veterans from MMO making. A lot of the people who went to create World of Warcraft the way it is right now. They moved to Riot, and they are making new stories there, making new lore, making new game concepts. I think a lot of an old game lead of World of Warcraft is the one making the game, the MMO right now. So that's a thing, which is interesting actually. I actually don't know anything about the game. I only watched like several videos of Necrit, where he was like, what is possible for that MMO, not like what is will actually be. But I already know that Necrit said that the developers watch his videos actually, so it makes sense. If a lot of those ideas will be somewhat realized within the MMO itself, because those are really good ideas Necrit proposed. To return back on the topic, I think Apex Legends has way too overpriced cosmetics. Same with Valorant. I might have bought a bundle or something, but I don't really believe it was worth it ultimately, because it's just a
The
few flashy
MMO will
guns.
take like 6 more years to complete, so I keep up some hope. I can't get into any of Riot's game due to some bad blood in the past, but I might actually take a look at the MMO.
I also will. I played League for 12 years. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe because of attachment. I still want to play the Ruined King story. I still want to play a lot of games, of Riot games, because I haven't touched a lot of them in my time. I don't know. I hadn't had the time or motivation to do it. But yeah, I hope the MMO will be good, because I'd like to have another MMO to sink my teeth into, other than Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm going to be continuing the moment I actually get my external drive. I want to be able to catch up to the story before the new expansion comes up. That's definitely what I want to. Before the new expansion comes out, I would like to catch up to the story. Yeah.
it hits you with day in and day out, and still having loot boxes in 2023. Good God, even Blizzard abandoned those in Overwatch 2. Their solution isn't much better, but goddamn. And
their solution is much worse, actually. Their solution is much, much, much worse. The loot boxes were better. I said it. They were better.
we don't even need to cover Redfall.
Redfall is a special thing. It's a one in a century thing where every single person who ever watched it, looked at it, or played it, came together and said, "Wow." Wow.
You don't even need to cover Redfall.
No.
All right. All I had going for it was the name Arcane. The rest is an evident failure. In fact, Arcane is.
I want to play 14 so bad, but can't keep up with the sub.
The sub is a thing, honestly. The only reason I considering continuing playing, because I have a sub till late November right now, and then after that I can confidently ask my company to like keep to like help me upkeep the sub until until I actually.
Oh god, I remember hyping for Test V, Redfall, then they dropped this Walmart Redfall.
Fun fact about me, I actually have the Elder Scrolls Online Complete Edition. I have all the expansions up to date. This is one of the MMOs I bought completely. I have it on Steam, like full game. I can just download it anytime and also play it, and I just never played it before. So I have my choices. I have full edition of Final Fantasy 14 up until what's called the Final Slayer, End Slayer, something like that. The recent expansion up until the complete finale of the current story arc.
I have that as well, but I've never played it.
And I have the Elder Scrolls Online complete to current expansion. Endwalker, right, Endwalker. The complete, so I can basically.
Endwalker.
And it brought up to so no other DLC spec. I bought the bundle. They had a bundle that was on sale. So like 50%
that's
bundle.
Interesting. I only bought up to the Black Marsh chapter of ESO and no other DLC or as pack.
No, they had a bundle that was 50% off on Steam, and I went like, why not? And I bought it, and it has been in my library since then, forever, basically. Man, but still, yeah. I want to finish the Final Fantasy 14 story. I will finish it on stream as well. I will absolutely finish it on stream. And then I will buy the new spec, and we'll continue from there. That's basically my plan as of right now. Because I also know
Steam sales are the best in the world.
Steam sales are really the best in the world. I can agree with that.
In itself. Is that considered a AAA studio?
It's my birthday today.
Well, happy birthday, Zaz. I went until before. Happy birthday. Hope you have a nice year ahead of you.
The Elder Scrolls I got is the one free epic cack.
Oh, really? Cool.
Has a AAA publisher behind it now, Bethesda, but a game like Prey, which
Happy
is a
birthday, Ultra.
Happy birthday, Ultra.
Personal favorite of mine. Feel.
Finally 16.
Nice. Welcome aboard. Well, hope you are enjoying my weird personality, though. It's so weird having like young people on my streams. God, saying young people make me feel so old. But yeah, I like it feels so weird having like people below like 20 on my stream. And it's like on the other hand, I don't really mind because I'm not really like lewdster
Same
or
here,
anything.
bond me for the Epic Games version.
I'm not like a lewd person or anything. I'm not like someone who would like who you can't show on like a kid friendly situation, right? But I'm not exactly not cursing, not like being a weird person or anything like that. I'm a weirdo, I guess, in a way. But not like enough of a weirdo to be 18 plus. I'm kind of in a weird place. But yeah, anyway, Prey was good. I liked Prey. Prey was really good as a game. I like Prey.
Is extremely AAA, but it doesn't have a big name or big size. It's entirely a product of quality. I mean, League of Legends is the biggest game in the world, and all you do is load onto the game map day in and day out, and you break your computer when Yasuo outplays you under the turrets. So this ABC, quality, size, and name building blocks we've created are already falling apart. The shooter games of 2010s with the campaign, multiplayer, and co-op mode isn't a good metric.
Nobody is perfect.
True.
To go by anymore. And we can't just use made by X company anymore either.
Yeah.
I am a look back and I see
She is a beautiful woman.
Ghost of Tsushima and Hades. My top 2 games for that year. One by Sucker Punch Studios and the other by Supergiant Games. Ghost of Tsushima has all the hallmarks of being AAA. The game carries tons of talent, has a grand scale and quality to match. It is a genuine treat to play and replay. But Sucker Punch Studios is not a group that some of you might even be familiar with.
No.
For some of you I'm a 27-year-old man and I'm about to break into this bit.
You youngsters out there don't realize Sucker Punch Studios made the infamous games. Super underrated titles back in the Xbox 360 era.
If you're doing that as a 27-year-old man, what the fuck am I supposed to do as a 31, nearly 31-year-old man? What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to just stand up and perform the Sandman transformation scene from Spider-Man 2003? Am I supposed to do that? Bricky?
That was time.
See, Sucker Punch carried a lot of weight back then, their name. Hades, though.
I do really like Infamous series. Infamous series was one of my favorites.
I wanted to play Wild Hearts so bad, but last I heard it more or less died.
It might have. Let me actually check. It more or less died. Wild Hearts. That's a familiar name. That's a familiar ass name. Let me check. Wild Hearts. Yeah. It more or less died. Yeah, it more or less died. It's not really. It's a monster. Yep.
Monster Hunter knockoff.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. Ghost Recon Wildland. Is it? I remember watching Ghost Recon Wildland, and it was a fucking train wreck. Recon Wildland. Unless I'm speaking about a different game. Yeah, that's the game. Oh no, Wildland. No, okay, Wildlands was pretty good. Yeah, Wildlands was pretty good. Okay, now I'm speaking bullshit. That was a later Ghost Recon. The one that actually basically ruined any chances of Ghost Recon being another Ghost Recon being the thing. No, 2017 they were decent. They were still decent. They were still very decent. Okay, Wildlands was good. Okay.
Puts AAA stuff.
That is another one I wanted to play when I saw it had Coop, but then saw they killed it from the game.
That's honestly though. Unfortunately, a lot of the situations with good games recently is that they are largely underappreciated, because people are so overhyping wrong things. That things that have quality but don't have like the big names, the big hype behind them, they just kind of fall on the wayside, right? And don't do anything. Like, okay, just an example, the gacha game I'm playing, Zdorika, no hype. It's one of the best storylines I have played in a long time, but there's no hype behind it. Absolutely no hype behind it. It's effectively not doing anything in my let me just like Zdorika, right? Let's go into my playlist real quick. Just an example from how little people give a shit about this, right? For example, let me when was this Ghost Zdorika, right? Go into this Zdorika, Zdorika Mirage, Zdorika Sunset. Fucking chimneys. Apparently, my YouTube really wants me to do that bullshit for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, come on. Fucking come on. Cool. Thank you. Let me Mirage. Okay. Let me just show you something real quick. Download. Okay. Fuck off. So what happened is I started it around 3 months ago, I'd say, right? 4 months ago on my Twitch channel, and I started uploading videos on my channel from that were cut from the VODs. There is around 50 videos currently on my Sunset series, which is the first season. But there's so many videos because it's a combination of videos of like shorter form cutting a part of the VODs. Let me just show you, because this was more than about 5 months ago. So I had this setup. And I had a completely different setup, and I was 500 plus something on Twitch back then. Right now I have 725, I want to say, on Twitch. I don't do anything on this, but on Twitch anyway. But yeah, I don't stream on Twitch.
Stream on Twitch?
I streamed on Twitch. Now I only stream on YouTube. But yeah, I did stream on Twitch, and you can see there was a bit of a different setup here. I never really reached 1,000 because I hopped off Twitch before it happened. But yeah, Zdorica. Point is, Zdorica as a series doesn't appear to be enjoyed by anyone really. It's one of the least performing games on my channel because nobody knows it. Right? Look at this. This is like the big streams. Like I put a lot of effort into these, right? Into the thumbnails, into everything. But like nobody watches these. 92, 56, 51, 41, 73, 51, 31. It's just like nobody watches these. I have a single person who consistently shows up on these. Eggy, like he's the consistent fan who watches these. I'm starting to believe he's all of those. It's like, and then you go here as well. And again, 200. There has been like some not a lot of these cross 100 views at all, like at all whatsoever. See what I mean? It's not a known game. Like out of the entirety of nearly 50 hours I have of Zdorica on my fucking channel, only
Eki is a legend.
Eggy is a legend, yeah. Only one. One. Two videos. Two videos cross 100 views. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus out of 58. Well, 57. 8 will be this Thursday, but 57 videos, only 2 of them cross 100 views. Because this game is absolutely fucking unknown, and I imagine the sheer quantity of my content on it is daunting to like get into. So nobody will get into. Nobody will watch this bullshit. This video. I guarantee you, nobody will. Well, at least until I become like big as a content creator, then maybe people will watch this stuff. But yeah,
Shame.
at some point, good games fall by the wayside, and they continue falling by the wayside. I'm actually
surprised Zdorica wasn't more well known, since it came from Rayark.
Yeah, I also very surprised why it isn't more known. It is super known in the East, in China, in Japan, and everywhere. But the Western community is dead in a ditch. Like even Reddit, there's barely 20 people online at any moment. 20, 30 people online at any moment on Reddit, on Zdorica Reddit, compared to Limbus Company when there's like half a thousand. 1,500 basically, 1,500 people, or Honkai Impact 1,000 like something. There's 30 people barely on Zdorica's Reddit, because it's like nobody plays it on the West for some reason, and it's just like it's so depressing, right? I'm trying my best to bring it to attention. It's so depressing. It came to such a depressing angle that my stupid ass, that has no popularity whatsoever, is showing up in the Google searches for Zdorika. Let me just like final instruction here. I want to just show you something. Okay, Mirage, for example. Let me see. It's gonna up. There you are. I didn't say let's play. I didn't type observer. Didn't type anything. Zdorika Mirage. My face is here. My literal face is here. I'm just here. It's not that I'm so popular and so good and so prominent in community. It's that the game is so not known that that I am already in the Google searches. I'm already here. There I am. Even like, okay, Zdorika, let's play. Even though that turns into just my face. That just turns into my face. My face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why is this here? I don't know. Like, I am so intertwined with everything that every single, like, look at this. You can even see Feet Ashral Nishimoto. That's the person who I am playing with. And Feet Anya Stars. As something, that's the people who I played the game with. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how bad it's gotten. Oh my god. Okay, let me go.
It's all three build.
Back to Hades, I think that's one of the examples of game that is really good in quality, but also managed to achieve really big awareness from the community. It tickled their funny bone.
Blocks easily with its quality, length, and name recognition. But Supergiant is a tiny-ass studio. How does one call them AAA at the end of the day? Is it the price point? I would have paid $70 for Hades. The amount of hours I put in that game and the quality of it is insane. But it's made by
I never actually played Hades myself, but I kind of want to.
Supergiant.
I'm not exactly, not on stream though, because it's not exactly a type of game I usually play on stream.
Teeny little studio, and it only costs dollar amounts. I don't remember how much it costs. Skater, put that right there, please. But
$25.
Like indies in general can do stuff better than the big names can. Like Supergiant is a constant reminder that quality is not just budget, but also talent.
Props to Supergiant. I've liked them since Bastion, and they earn all this recognition.
They did. I can say for sure they absolutely went out the door. They earned every single. I tried most of their games until Hades. The Hades is the only game I haven't tried yet. And it's just as good. It's just really good. Just really good, like on mechanical level.
Individual talent from devs. They're putting out games that run flawlessly and can feel like...
That's the thing also. I feel like a lot of people forget that budget does not automatically mean talent, does not automatically mean passion, does not automatically mean quality. When there's $100 million mark, it can be a flop and it can be a bucket of shit. It just can be a $100,000 bucket of shit.
Does someone here watch anime?
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. Honestly, let me look at myself. Yes, I'm anime. Yes, I watch anime. My entire existence is inspired by anime. Yes, I watch anime.
Like pieces of art. So many people think that like making a video game, being a dev is just plug and play, like just code it this way. Just formulate it this way. Just balance it this way. And it's like saying, yeah, it's easy to play basketball. Just do what LeBron does. Building a game is a skill, and being a dev means that you are good at that skill, but there are devs that are better at skills than others. Supergiant has accumulated.
Yes, and that's also why, again, talent, and passion a product make. Not money, talent, and passion. Nothing else. If there is no talent or passion, a product will suck, regardless of how much money you throw at it.
This group of devs that are, while small, really fucking good at their jobs.
Yeah.
Owlcat Games. Oh man, Pathfinder and that new Rogue Trader game that I actually got a chance to demo, which was really good, and I think people are going to be really happy with that one. Yeah,
I have Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous as well. I bought it. I will play it. Again, whenever I have the fucking disk space for it. Like, that's the thing. I want to play several RPGs, several massive RPGs. I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. I want to play Wrath of the Righteous. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I want to play the new Rogue Trader game. I want to play these kind of things, but I don't have the fucking space for it right now. So I'm waiting for my fucking drive to come in the mail, so I can actually install all of this bullshit and not run out of space after like 30 seconds.
Please, if you wanted to, you'd be on these titles for genuine years with almost no reasons to put them down. Hell, I'm playing this game right now called Moonbreaker by Unknown Worlds, creators of Subnautica. It's a turn-based multiplayer game where you can control little miniatures that you can paint and fight other opponents and their lists.
It's like very much inspired by Warhammer 40k, but like if Warhammer 40k was a computer game. Which I'm kind of surprised it isn't. Like, not like the inspired by Warhammer 40k, but like the 40k board game. Why has nobody made it a video game yet?
No space, no time, no money. The unholy trinity of gamers' bane.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair though, my space got burned out recently, like a few months ago. I had a drive for 1 terabyte that I could install games on easily, but it burned out basically and exploded in my face. So yeah, that was not fun. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting to replace my drive and upload all the data that was there onto the new one. Basically, yeah.
It's a bit Warhammer Kill Team, a bit XCOM, and a bit Mechanicus, all wrapped into one. Thing is, the voice talent they have is astounding. Over and over, I hear voices I constantly recognize. Either.
Well, I guess that drives you crazy, huh? No, don't worry about it. I appreciate it. I will never shade you for throwing a pun at me because I'm pun gang. I am pun gang. I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I'm a dad in spirit, in mind, and in body.
From games like League and Overwatch, or just, this map.
As a Moonbreaker player, the game is pretty pogs, and I also buy the DLC for the color pack.
If I buy the game, Babby, if I buy Moonbreaker, will you teach me the ways? If I buy the game and make a stream on Moonbreaker, will they teach me the ways? Because I do know Bricky made a video about Moonbreaker, and that punted the player numbers up into the skyscrapers compared to what it was before.
Okay.
Cool.
At Mercer, Moonbreaker is an amazing game. Okay, that's probably my subject for my next video, and I'm terrified.
The game is very simple.
He did in fact make a video about the Moonbreaker game.
The player count right now is not very high, but oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. But going back from there,
I kind of like how the lore by the game is made by one of the a book writer I actually do like. I like the book writer, Brandon Sanderson, I think. What's his name? Actually, read his books. He's a pretty cool writer. I read his. I watched his videos.
It's just like the Warhammer 40k, but no roll dice check.
Okay, fair enough.
There's the question again, right? What even is a AAA game anymore? All the things that are synonymous with AAA
And The Sims 4
can
is
either.
a funny game.
It is. It is a funny game. You cannot make baby with death with Grim Reaper. You cannot make baby with Grim Reaper.
Be done as well or better by a smaller company, or games that used to be considered AAA are plummeting and failing at that very job.
And
So
The Sims 4 is a funny game.
ask again for the 40th time this video, what even is a AAA game anymore? Google says it's a game with a big budget made by a name brand publisher. That's not what it used to be, but that's what it's become. AAA back then meant a type of game.
Yeah, it meant a stamp of quality, effectively. It meant a stamp of quality, stamp of passion, stamp of lots of money thrown onto it, and stamp of lots of interesting people who made this game. And like, this is the game. This is the event. This is the blockbuster for you to play. And that's how what it was once. Now it's something else.
A big studio game with lots of content, great quality, and name brand talent. Now it's a game with lots of money with a good studio. The entire concept of AAA, of AAA quality has changed. It's in a weird way a house of cards. To be a high-profile game made by a big publisher is to submit yourself to the extreme gamble, because to make that, you need a high budget. And that budget isn't exclusively being used on the game. There's a great video on Casper mattresses made by YouTuber Modern MBA, we'll link in the description, which explains the absolutely astonishing amount of money spent on advertising that direct-to-consumer companies often spend. Often, a lot of the Silicon Valley venture capital people, the tech bro is like the new dollar jock at this point. They find themselves in the video game industry seeing either a quick buck or the next major thing to invest in. But investing in America isn't just about getting a little bit more money back. It's never-ending increases in profits. To be profitable isn't enough. If you had 25% more profits one year, the next has to be 35. Being 15 isn't acceptable, despite the fact that you're still making money over your cost. I know I have some fans in the game industry, and I feel like even in the smaller studios, the amount of higher-ups that just have a ton of money, but no idea what making a game is like, is prevalent. The amount of times you are forced under horrible deadlines, terrible working conditions, and God knows what video game company culture, because a whole bunch of dudes.
I remember AAA's meaning got twisted around the time Quantum Break was released.
Yeah. AAA's has not been the same since a lot of earlier games, and definitely I think a large part of why AAA games are so controversial and so weird in terms of like quality, despite the fact that there's been so much money spent, so much stuff, is there's a triple factor involved. First, there's game developers having absolutely no passion for what they do. This is a 5 to 9 job. This is not an art project. This is 5 to 9 job. People can say whatever they want. I'm so passionate, but no, you're not passionate. You're just good at doing your job, or bad at doing your job. It depends. 2, culture. Culture of the company, of the big companies, usually are very sheltered because very isolated. A lot of the tech companies and all of the gaming companies can think they can just install their own rules, and if you don't follow those rules, you can go out. You can just leave, right? Because so it's often unfair, often toxic, often very full of animosity, and it's just so stifling, right? So whatever creativity that is there, it's no longer there. It's not going to be there, because if a person does not enjoy their work environment, if the person does not enjoy their work, no good product shall be made. Nothing groundbreaking anyway. It can be good, can be decent, can be acceptable even, but nothing groundbreaking. Same thing applies to content. Whenever I was miserable making content, people were miserable watching me. Right now, I'm making whatever the fuck I want, so people watch me more. People find me more interesting than they ever did when I was on Twitch, and I tried the variety thing, right? And I tried the variety thing for a while, where I just like basically played whatever the fuck I felt like it, even though I didn't really feel anything I was playing.
From San Francisco with a trust fund their dad gave them is now flushing full your company with capital. And now you got to do what they say. But that number has to keep going up and up and up. So $60 is one thing. Then you release a sequel every single month. Then you add microtransactions to it, loot boxes, a mobile port. You make deadlines smaller so games come out faster. And when all that fails, you fire hundreds of staff to make up the difference and up the price. All of this is not in pursuit of making really good video games.
No.
It's in pursuit of a golden goose. Why would we make Titanfall 3 when we could make a free battle royale game that has ridiculously expensive in-game events every single month and still has loot boxes in 2023?
Yeah.
And even if we do make a classic, lovely, single-player
Is this your only model?
Yes. And this is my only model because this model has cost me $2,000 and I don't have any more $2,000 to make another one, unfortunately. I do have the options to do this, I guess. But I just prefer being like in my casual wear. I prefer to be in my casual wear at this point, so yeah.
Story game for $70. It will have a deluxe edition, and it will be broken at launch.
It will have a deluxe edition, it will have microtransaction, it will be broken at launch.
You know, I'm not a console war person. I don't much care, but Sony still finds a way to make games that actually feel like they're worth the cost.
Occasionally, yeah. I think part of it comes down to a really good leadership. A lot of really good leaders.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, yeah. That's why I haven't updated my model in a long time, because I don't have the money to. I have an artist. I have like a contact with them. I could be able to. I could be making another. I would like to update my model in terms of rigging, in terms of everything, but I don't really have the capital to do so. So.
And turn a profit. God of War, both of them, mind you, are exceptions that prove a rule. They're a look into what AAA gaming used to be. No.
Yep.
Is supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yeah.
In a weird way, I wonder if it's a blessing. If the AAA industry is eating itself alive with unrealistic deadlines, massive CEO bonuses.
It is a blessing, because eventually this bubble will pop, and it will pop. Most bubbles of inflated prices tend to pop, and then there will be a wild, wild west where new publishers will be rising, new game developers will become a reality. A lot of what is currently is, it's kind of like breaking apart slowly, because Blizzard is tanking, Activision is tanking, kinda. Like a lot of these unrealistic expectations that they set, they will not be met at some point soon, and this is just what's gonna happen.
And poor employee treatment. Will that blend the line between indies and major publishers?
Probably.
I don't see high-profile games sitting with overwhelmingly positive on Steam, okay? Just one.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
It's Outer Wilds, Signalis, Deep Rock Galactic, Stardew Valley, and so on. Indies, or AA games, whatever you want to call them, are the ones that can be as good, if not better, than anything high-profile, and all they lose is the ability for photorealistic graphics, which is no longer a selling point like it used to be. And
yeah, it's like every single game tries to invest into being like hyper realistic. They spend $1 million on hiring this one actor to do micro expressions about of a person sitting on the toilet and shitting. Like that's not a selling point anymore. That's what everyone does. That's what every big studio does. So a selling point would be a unique look. Gameplay being hyper interesting, story being super interesting. Nobody is interested in being that guy. Okay, there are people who are interested in being that guy when it comes to gaming and being like, oh look, his shit's so realistic. No, like there are obviously gonna be people like that.
Is Genshin Impact a good game? I never played it.
I never played it either, so I don't know. But I heard it's a good game. I heard it's a very good game. MiHoYo is actually one of the most standout developers of the last 5 years, I would say.
On a slightly irrelevant note, I saw an interesting video on my recommended that you can add to the reaction playlist. Gotcha Games Don't Read Your Feedback Survey. Here's Why by Faye Hunt.
Interesting. I will Actually, I can say one for sure. One game does read the feedback, because Path to Nowhere, a friend of mine did the feedback of several events, and they actually did implement a lot of things that were popular in those surveys. And they give currency for filling those surveys. And they actually did change the event later to reflect the overwhelming majority of interests people expressed in those surveys. So there are still gacha games that do that do read the feedback surveys, and they do adjust things based on what the feedback says.
Really, what is price worth to you? You specifically, $70, $40, $20. What are you even looking to get out of it? Like
when I pay a $70 game, I want quality, good story, and at the very least interesting gameplay. Like at the very least something that ties into the themes of the narrative somehow. That'd be lovely.
For some, it's just hours. $1 per hour of game time, I hear some say. Now, these are often those like me who are so deep in the Destiny grind we forgot what Sunlight is. Maybe it's narrative fulfillment, a strong
narrative fulfillment. That's what I'm looking for.
Story with good characters, a Witcher-style game or a Last of Us. Competition, ranked ladders, skill ceiling, Street Fighters.
Not for me.
CS:GO, or just fun like Mario.
Fun and narrative fulfillment. Two things I look for. I look into games.
Mario Kart or Overcooked. The line between it all is being blurred. Prices fluctuate depending on game. Content fluctuates depending on intention. And AAA is really just a game by a big studio with a big marketing budget. What it really means at this point, it's whatever you make of it. I'm surprised the industry has survived this long. I feel like if it wasn't for a multitude of golden geese, many wouldn't have been able to. But too big to fail is a real thing. Bloons Tower Defense taught me that. And for each Redfall that's put out, there's something there to make the money back. I've always wanted to make a video game, you know, but I don't know anything about making a video game.
I do. It's hell.
I have ideas, concepts, but that's about it. I can't animate, rig, code, or draw. But I do have two things that almost every other startup doesn't. An audience to advertise to and capital to spend. But often people with capital to spend are those exact same Silicon Valley guys that seem like they have no idea what they're doing. So finding a way to not be one of those guys is a little challenging, and it's something I constantly worry about if I ever do want to make a video game. I may in the future, maybe. If I ever do fulfill that dream, I probably wouldn't do it with investors. I do it with Kickstarter. Owe nobody money, just have a budget, hire a crew, and do my damnedest. And hopefully I can look back at this video and say to myself, glad I wasn't like these guys. But to be back on topic, a AAA game is something with budget and
honestly, though, I do want to make a video game at some point, if that's even possible for me, because I understand the thing, one thing and one thing only. When you make a video game, you need to delegate a lot of work towards the people who work with you, artists, because artists knows better than you. Coders, because coders know better than you. Like, I would please try to get a team together, right? Give a concepts to the team and be like, okay, well, what can we do with it, right? That's basically it. I would be the advisor and the Mr. Moneybank.
I want to make an anime.
Making an anime is much. It depends. Making anime is definitely more realistic than making a game, but people tried and they really it didn't work out. So you'll definitely need to like hire a studio that is already existing to make an anime, but on your own, doubt it.
Profile. And in its own right, it does not mean quality. Quality is found for prices other than $70 and by studios that aren't too big to fail. AAA is what you and I make of it. End of story. The old definition is dead and the new one is not satisfactory. So
it is not satisfactory, but it's very accurate. It's just a game made by a big company that has a lot of marketing budget. That's basically it.
Go out, look for those overwhelmingly positive games on Steam, support your local indie devs, and also stop releasing broken fucking video games.
They won't.
Please.
They won't. Unfortunately, they won't. That's just like, that is like, That is
On
unfortunate.
that note, a lot of people didn't know the difference between designing and programming and placed a lot of blames on coders for design flaws, and it hurts me a bit, as a software engineering major.
Yes, designers are people who basically provide the framework for the coders to implement. That's a fairly natural statement to make in this situation, I feel like. And it's just like, I don't know, a lot of the people who people who try to pretend they know game dev, they often don't know game dev. Let's say it like that. They don't know game dev whatsoever. That's basically it. Man, I will have to cut away a lot of this.
It's like blaming the workers for the architect's fault.
Exactly. It's like workers are there to implement the decision of the designer. That's you have to blame the designer because designer designed it to be bad. Workers only had to implement what was already there and bad. Okay.